Welcome to Career Spotlight Academy, your daily deep dive into the world of STEM careers and entrepreneurship, where we explore inspiring journeys and the skills needed to thrive. Let's dive in and explore today's Spotlight career.
Ever fantasize about ditching the 9 to 5? Telling your boss, see ya, and becoming your own boss. I think we all have at some point, right?
It's a common dream.
For sure. And today, we're diving into the world of entrepreneurs who actually did it. Those who transformed their side hustles into their main gig. And not just that, they built six-figure empires.
And it's more than just dreaming, right? It's about understanding the how behind these incredible stories, the steps they took, the mindsets they embraced.
Totally. And that's what we're unpacking today. The real stories, the actionable insights so our listeners can glean some golden nuggets of wisdom.
Get ready to take some notes, everybody.
Seriously. Now, it's easy to think these success stories happen overnight, a bit of luck, sprinkle of magic. But the truth is, more often than not, they start small. They start with a side hustle.
A side hustle is like that testing ground, a way to dip your toes into the entrepreneurial waters without the pressure of relying on it for your livelihood just yet.
Exactly. And today, we're getting up close and personal with three entrepreneurs who prove that slow and steady wins the race. Nick Loper, Danielle Greason, and Chris Guilbeau.
Three very different journeys, three very different businesses. But one common thread, they all started small, and they all used their side hustles as a launching pad.
So let's break down why that approach, that start small mentality, is often smarter than going all in from day one. Honestly, the thought of quitting my job tomorrow and pouring all my savings into a business?
Terrifying, right?
Absolutely terrifying. I'd be a nervous wreck.
It's like that classic saying, don't quit your daydream until you make your day job your daydream. Side hustles are all about mitigating that risk, that fear of jumping without a safety net.
It's like having a safety net, but it's also about so much more than just money, right?
100%. It's about building resilience, about developing that entrepreneurial hustle and grit. You're juggling a full-time job, maybe a family, a social life, and then carving out time for this passion project.
I can only imagine.
It takes serious dedication, serious time management, and the ability to prioritize like a boss.
It's the ultimate test of your commitment, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you're willing to put in the work, even when you'd rather be, binge watching your favorite show, it shows you're serious about this dream.
And that's where Nick Loper's story comes in. He's a fantastic example of this start small mentality in action. He didn't strike gold on his first try, did he?
Now that you mention it, didn't he start out selling shoes online?
He did, navigating the wild world of e-commerce and affiliate marketing, trying to stand out in a sea of online shoe sellers.
Which, let's be real, is a tough gig.
Super competitive, especially for someone just starting out. It takes time to find your footing, to learn the ropes, and to figure out what works, what resonates with your target audience.
And Nick's journey really highlights that it's okay to stumble, it's okay to course correct, embrace the failures, the lessons learned, because they often lead you to where you need to be.
He took those early side hustle experiences, the wins, the losses, the lessons, and turned them into something incredibly valuable.
Side Hustle Nation, a blog and podcast dedicated to, well, the ins and outs of side hustling.
Such a clever way to leverage his own experiences, his own journey, to help other aspiring entrepreneurs navigate the world of side hustles.
And he turned that passion into a thriving business, a six-figure business at that. And get this, he did all of this while still rocking his full-time gig.
Talk about a master juggler. Nick's story proves that building something extraordinary on the side is absolutely doable. It's about proving to yourself, not to anyone else, just to you, that your idea has legs, that you can turn this passion into profit.
It's about that slow and steady build, right? Building that foundation, that income stream, until you're ready to take that leap of faith.
Exactly. It's not about immediately ditching the day job. It's about creating that safety net, that runway, so you can eventually soar.
It's about giving yourself the best possible chance of success. Okay, so we've got this side hustle, we're passionate, we're putting in the work, but we also have this whole day job thing still going on.
It's the ultimate balancing act, right? Seriously. So how did these side hustle heroes we're talking about actually make it work? I'm dying to know their time management secrets. What about Nick? Any tips we can steal from him?
Well, for one, Nick's a huge advocate for time blocking. Have you ever tried that?
Time blocking. I've dabbled, but honestly, most days I feel like I'm just reacting to whatever's most urgent,
Oh, I feel that. The tyranny of the urgent to-do list. But imagine this. Instead of just reacting, You carve out specific blocks of time in your week dedicated solely to your side hustle. Maybe it's an hour before work or a couple of evenings.
Okay, so no more squeezing things in here and there. It's like a designated side hustle time.
Exactly. And the key here is, during those blocks, your side hustle gets your undivided attention. No emails, no chores, just pure focused work on your business.
Like making an appointment with your own success. I love that. But beyond time blocking, what other ninja time-saving tricks did these entrepreneurs use? I'm all ears.
Many of them are all about automation and delegation. Okay, now we're talking automation and delegation. Those are my kind of buzzwords. Tell me more about how they use these superpowers.
Think about those repetitive tasks that eat up your time. Things like scheduling social media posts, sending out email newsletters, maybe even some customer service stuff. There are tools out there that can automate a lot of that for you.
Working smarter, not harder.
Precisely. Freeing up your time and mental energy to focus on the big picture stuff, the stuff that really moves the needle forward.
So true. And delegation, that's something I personally struggle with. I'm such a control freak, but I know it's important.
It's tough, especially when you're first starting and every dollar counts. But honestly, even outsourcing small tasks to a virtual assistant for a few hours a week can be a game changer.
I know. It's just hard to let go of control sometimes. But you're right, if it frees me up to focus on what I do best, it's worth it. Okay, so we've talked about time blocking, automation, delegation. But here's a thought. What if we could actually use our day jobs to our advantage?
Now, that's an interesting way to look at it. Most people see their day job as the thing they're trying to escape, not leverage.
Right. But seriously, how can we reframe our thinking and see our 9-to-5s as the stepping stone rather than a roadblock?
Well, for starters, your day job provides that financial stability while you're building your side hustle. You can experiment, you can take risks, you don't have to pressure yourself to make $1 million overnight.
It takes the pressure off, for sure.
And here's another big one. Your day job can be an amazing source of networking opportunities.
Ooh, good point. I hadn't even thought about that.
You're interacting with people in your industry every single day, potential clients, collaborators, mentors, you name it. You never know where a casual conversation might lead.
It's about keeping an open mind, right? Always be on the lookout for connections, even in unexpected places.
Exactly. And speaking of creating your own opportunities, that brings us to Danielle Greason. She's a perfect example of how a side hustle can lead to a location-independent lifestyle. Talk about a dream.
Okay, Danielle's story is seriously inspiring. She basically said, see ya to the traditional career path and created a business that allows her to work from anywhere in the world. How did she even get started?
So picture this. Danielle and her family make a big move to Costa Rica.
Wow, what a change.
Right. And she needed an income stream that would allow her to embrace this new adventure. So she turned to freelancing.
She's a social media marketing whiz, right? So she took those skills online.
Exactly. She started offering her services remotely, helping businesses rock their social media game from afar. But here's the thing. Danielle's super entrepreneurial. She saw a need in the market, an opportunity to help others who are craving that same freedom and flexibility.
And that's how Freelance to Freedom was born.
You got it. She created this amazing course teaching people how to build a successful freelance career from the ground up, finding clients, managing time, setting rates, you name it.
Talk about turning your own experiences into gold. That's incredible. And she built this thriving business all while living abroad and raising a family. Danielle's story really highlights the importance of flexibility and adaptability, especially in today's ever-changing world. It's so empowering. Okay, so we've talked about the why behind side hustles, the importance of time management and leveraging those connections. But now, the million-dollar question for all the aspiring entrepreneurs out there: how do you find that sweet spot, that niche, where your passions and skills actually align with what the market wants and is willing to pay for?
Ah, yes, the million-dollar question. And it's one I hear all the time from aspiring entrepreneurs.
It can feel overwhelming, right? Like, where do I even begin?
It starts with a little self-reflection.
Ooh, I love a good self-reflection session.
Me too. It's about getting real with yourself, asking those tough but important questions.
Like what? Give me an example.
Okay, so think about it this way. What are you naturally drawn to? What do you find yourself doing in your free time, even if it's not directly related to your day job?
Okay, I like that, following your curiosity.
Exactly. And on the flip side, what are people always asking for your help with? What do friends, family, even acquaintances see as your superpower?
So it's about identifying those things we excel at, even if they don't feel like official skills.
I like that.
It's about recognizing your own zone of genius, that sweet spot where your passions and talents intersect.
And once we've brainstormed those potential niches, then what?
Then it's time for a little market research.
Okay, so we're putting on our detective hats.
Exactly. We need to figure out if there's a real demand for this amazing thing we're passionate about.
Because passion is great, but it needs to translate into something people are willing to open their wallets for.
100%. So we got to ask ourselves, are there already businesses catering to this need? If so, how can we differentiate ourselves? What unique value can we bring to the table?
It's about finding that gap in the market, that space where we can truly shine. I love it. Okay, so we found our niche. We're feeling good. What's next? Do we just dive in head first? Not so fast. Remember those side hustle heroes we were talking about? They all started small, tested the waters before going all in.
Smart. So how do we test the waters, so to speak?
Think of it like an experiment. Offer your services or products to friends, family, even your local community.
A test audience.
Exactly. Get feedback, refine your approach, and see if there's a real need, a real desire for what you're offering.
It's about validating that idea before we go full steam ahead.
Precisely.
Let's take a moment to hear from our sponsor. Stay with us. You won't want to miss what comes next.
This episode is brought to you by Career Spotlight Academy. Discover inspiring career paths, gain mentorship, and explore the tools you need to succeed. Visit us at www.careerspotlight.academy for more details and to start your journey today. And now, let's dive back in.
We're back.
We're back.
And speaking of taking action, let's talk about Chris Guillebeau. He built his entire philosophy around the idea that you don't need a small fortune to launch a successful venture.
Which is so refreshing, especially in a world where it seems like everyone's obsessed with venture capital and massive funding rounds.
Right. Chris is a firm believer in the power of action over endless planning. His book, The $100 Startup, showcases entrepreneurs who launched businesses with minimal investment. Super inspiring.
It really is. It kind of removes that mental barrier a lot of us have, thinking we need tons of money or a fancy business plan to even get started.
Those things can be helpful down the road for sure. But Chris's message is this: don't let them be the thing that holds you back from taking that first step.
Start with what you have, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's $100 or just a whole lot of hustle and an idea you believe in.
You got it. He encourages aspiring entrepreneurs to focus on creating value, even in the smallest of ways, and build momentum from there. And you know what's even cooler? He walks the talk.
Oh, I love that. Tell me more.
So before Chris became a full-time author and speaker, he started multiple side hustles himself. In fact, he funded his passion for travel by selling travel guides, teaching people how to explore the world on a budget.
That's amazing. Proof that you don't need to wait for the perfect time or the perfect idea to get started. Sometimes it's about taking that leap of faith and figuring things out as you go.
100%.
Okay, so let's say our listeners have found their niche, they're gaining traction, they're putting in the work, but that big question still looms. How do they know when it's time to ditch the day job and go all in on their side hustle?
It's the dream, right? Turning your passion project into your primary source of income. But as exciting as that is, it's a decision that shouldn't be taken lightly.
So how do we approach it strategically? What factors should we be considering?
Well, first and foremost, financial stability. Before you even think about saying goodbye to that steady paycheck, make sure you have a solid financial cushion saved up.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But how much of a cushion are we talking about?
Ideally, you want enough to cover your living expenses for at least 6 to 12 months.
Wow, okay, that's a good chunk of change.
It is, but it gives you that breathing room to really focus on growing your business without the added pressure of having to replace your full-time income overnight.
Like that safety net, that runway we were talking about earlier.
Exactly. And while you're building that financial cushion, start thinking about optimizing your operations. How can you make your business more efficient, more scalable?
Streamlining processes, making sure everything's running smoothly. What are some practical steps we can take?
This is where those automation and delegation techniques come in handy. Look for ways to streamline repetitive tasks. And don't be afraid to outsource tasks that are outside your zone of genius.
It's about focusing on what only you can do, right? The big picture stuff, the visionary tasks.
Exactly. And here's another pro tip. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. As your side hustle grows, think about diversifying your income streams.
So if you're selling a physical product, maybe you create a digital course or offer consulting services on the side?
Exactly. Multiple streams of income not only provide a safety net, but they also open up more opportunities for growth.
So we've got our financial cushion, we're streamlining our operations, we've got multiple income streams flowing. How do we know, really know, when it's time to make that leap?
It's different for everyone, and there's no magic formula, but a good rule of thumb is to look for consistent income from your side hustle.
Not just one good month here and there, but steady growth and profitability over time.
Precisely. And beyond the financials, ask yourself this: are you truly passionate about this business?
Because running a business, even one you love, is hard work. You've got to have that fire in your belly to sustain you through the challenges.
Absolutely. If you can confidently say yes to all of that, you're financially stable, your business is running smoothly, you've got multiple income streams, and you're ridiculously passionate about what you're doing, it might just be time to take that leap of faith.
I love that. It's both terrifying and exhilarating at the same time. Speaking of incredible journeys, we can't forget about Catherine Cook.
Talk about starting young.
Right. She co-founded that social networking site, My Yearbook, when she was still in high school.
And it wasn't just some little project either. They grew that platform from the ground up, starting with a small user base and eventually reaching millions of members.
And get this, they did all of this while still juggling homework and exams and all the things that come with being a teenager.
They later rebranded as Meet Me and eventually sold the company for, get this, $100 million.
$100 million. That's insane. It just goes to show that age is just a number when it comes to entrepreneurial success. But, their story also highlights something that's been a recurring theme throughout this whole episode: the importance of networking and mentorship.
Absolutely. Very few successful entrepreneurs, if any, do it alone. It's about surrounding yourself with the right people, mentors, advisors, collaborators who can offer guidance, support, and a fresh perspective.
It's about building your own personal board of directors, your own cheer squad, to support you along the way. And sometimes those connections come from the most unexpected places, even that day job you're trying to escape.
So true. You never know who you might meet or what opportunities might arise just by putting yourself out there, building relationships and having those conversations.
Attending industry events, joining online communities, reaching out to someone you admire can open doors you didn't even know existed.
And finding a mentor, someone who's been there, done that, can be invaluable. They've ridden the entrepreneurial roller coaster. They know the ups, the downs, the loops.
It's like having a seasoned guide to help you navigate the sometimes bumpy, often unpredictable, always exciting terrain of entrepreneurship.
And they can offer advice, help you navigate challenges, and provide that much-needed pep talk when you need it most.
Speaking of support, for our listeners who are feeling super inspired but maybe a tad overwhelmed by all this side hustle talk, remember, you don't have to do it all alone, right?
Never. And that's where resources like Career Spotlight Academy come in.
Career Spotlight Academy is an incredible resource for aspiring entrepreneurs.
Seriously, they've got everything from online courses and workshops to personalized mentorship and a super supportive community.
They can help you with everything from identifying your niche and validating your business idea to mastering your finances, marketing like a pro, and building a strong online presence.
It's like having a team of experts in your corner, cheering you on and providing guidance every step of the way.
Which can make all the difference, especially when you hit those inevitable bumps in the road. And speaking of bumps in the road, let's talk about some common pitfalls to avoid. What are some things side hustlers should watch out for?
Oh, there are a few big ones. One of the most common is trying to do everything yourself.
Ah, yes, the classic entrepreneurial trap. Wearing all the hats, burning the candle at both ends.
It's tempting, especially in the beginning when you're trying to save money and maintain control, but it's a surefire path to burnout.
So learning to delegate effectively is crucial.
100%. Build a team, even if it's just one or two people, who can support your vision and help you grow.
Delegation.